Following video is a short summary of a question and answer presentation for Sierra Canyon residents conducted by National Landscape on August 16, 2010 at the Aspen Lodge. The meeting was very interesting and informative. The video includes some meeting highlights and compresses 2 hours into a 10-minute video. Enjoy.
And so what we did this time is we set up a backflow with the valve box on a little wagon, and Julio is here. He's going to hook it up out in the back or somewhere outside with the same controller that you guys have. So if you have any questions on your controller, how to drain the system, we'll hook it up live. And so you guys can kind of see how it looks in your yard, and it should help you. Some of you may not get it, and that's fine. That happens a lot, but always ask your neighbor. Somebody always gets it, you know. So really, mainly the reason we're having this thing is just because so many people were confused on, you know, how often we're supposed to be taking care of things in the re-veg and how manicured it's supposed to be. And in reality, as you can look out over the hills, almost everywhere there was a wildflower, you'll see nothing but sheetgrass. That's the number one probably noxious weed. And it's tough, I mean, because it's all of those areas are full of weed seed. The good thing is if you look around and you start in the villages 1, 3, 2, you'll see that it's really almost gone. I mean, it's really taken off pretty good as far as the re-veg areas. It's all the last areas that you know, kind of need to be dialed in a little bit more. I've kind of had fertilizers custom built. I've done a lot of slow release stuff. I've played with it all, but I'm really happy. I use Turf Supreme. I like Turf Supreme. It's really hard to find if you just go to a Home Depot. But you know, afterwards I can tell you, I pick it up at Pacific Turf Supply or Western Nevada Supply. We'll get it for you. You know, we also carry it, and we probably get a lot better break than you do on it. The reason that it works so well is it's super high in micronutrients. So, you know, it's got your basic nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, but it's really high in zinc and just a ton of different micronutrients. And those are really the things that really perk up. You know, we use that stuff for our shrubs also. That's the difference. The Scott's fertilizer is real fine. So when you go to put it on, it kind of blows in the wind. And I like the Turf Supreme because it's heavier pellets.
Higher between the tree and
the stakes.
The stakes.
Yeah, let me tell you, what village are you in?
8.
You know, the best thing you can do, the best thing that and you know, Mike and I have had this, we talked about this for years now, and you know, we had a little issue many years ago. We had people really pressuring us to untie the stakes, and you know, and I get it because they're not very sightly, but you can see the parkway, and not to pick on anybody at all, but the parkway, those ash trees, and if you have an ash tree in your neighborhood, those are mountain ash trees. They're a little tough to grow up here in this wind anyways, but they're really tough to grow if the root balls get loose on them. And you got to think of it like a loose tooth. If you get air in there and it actually exposes the roots to the air, it'll kill the tree. And so what you have to do with your tree is just make sure it's rooted real well. If you're kind of shaking it and you see an imprint of the root ball where it's cracking in a circle, this is the kind of the rule of thumb, then it's probably not rooted very good yet. If it's one of the biggest things, if a lot of you folks are out of California, a big thing up here when we moved up into Nevada, these trees, when they go to sleep in the wintertime, they're in for a rough winter usually. So if you deep root fertilize them, say around September, and then this is just a little rod that you hook up to your hose and you just push it in around the tree root ball and you just turn your hose on. It gives it kind of a liquid fertilizer on the roots in September. If you do it, you don't want to do this too late because it'll stimulate growth going into the winter. And if you have a little bit of soft growth in this area going into the winter, you'll see dead limbs. You guys going early fall, and you come out in the spring with the same little deep root fertilizer, you'll see huge results in your trees out here. And the biggest thing in this area is do not give up on watering your plant material in the winter. Okay? Because if we have a typical Nevada dry winter, unlike last winter, you got high, super cold days, high winds, and that just does nothing but pull the moisture out of your plants. And you know, a 2-inch snowfall is not going to put that back. And usually most of you guys are not really going to turn your irrigation back on just to water your trees. So it doesn't hurt to just drag a hose and give it a drink once in a while. It makes a huge difference. I mean, if a rule of thumb, and no pun intended, but you take your thumbnail and if you can skim the bark and it's green in there, it's alive. If you can't, if it's just hardwood and you can, you know, it's just like a chalkboard hard, it's pretty much a dead limb. But
Or
right,
get away with all
right.
that.
I've heard so many different things. They got, what have you heard, Mike?
Blood meal.
Yep. Blood meal. They have a coyote scent. They have, you know,
Yeah, but I want to get rid of the next crop, you know, fertilize, I mean, fix those males so they don't have.
right. You know, I don't have an answer to that. You
Well,
know?
you can't kill them. They
Powder,
don't.
50 cents at Walmart.
What's it
Garlic
called?
powder. See, I can tell you that in California, a lot of you guys are from California, probably. Society garlic. I don't know if you've ever planted society garlic back in California, but I had 40 acres in the foothills down there, and I had a lot of rabbit and squirrel problems. And that society garlic, the garlic, is the same thing like you're talking. We're going to take a break and have refreshments or whatever, and then we set up a little deal outside, which is your sprinkler system, and it is exactly what you're talking about. Those little valves that you have in those tubes. So many people get in there and turn them so hard that they're just brass, and it spins them and it strips them. And what they do is they seep water. They'll open the drains before they shut the system off.
Yeah.
And that's why you get water in them.
Yeah.
Because usually if you shut your system off and this is when you're draining it, and then you open the drain valve, it's very little water that comes out of there. But some people hit the wrong valve first,
Right.
and they open their drain valve while their system's on, and then they call us and go, oh my God, what did I do? You guys want to take a break? Yeah? Were you out there? Okay, we got refreshments in the back. This is right down here. This is that pathway that goes down. And I mean, again, everybody talks about that sheetgrass, but I don't see it. You know, there's not a lot, there wasn't a lot of it. You can definitely see it on the hillside up here, but all this is re-vegged and pretty nice. That's the backside from the clubhouse up there, just kind of going down the path. And I mean, you know, it's not Laguna Beach, you know, so it's just not, you know, but I mean, it probably is somebody that's been here forever looks at it and goes, oh man, that looks pretty good. Okay, that's Village 3 at the end of Evergreen Ridge, and that range right there is obviously this back here, right, Mike? All the way. And you can see that's the sheetgrass up there. But I'll get you a closer shot of it. This area right here has a lot of the grasses, the clumping grasses, for some reason. I mean, whatever they hydroseeded in there. And then this area here is almost all penstemon. 7, and that's the big valley going east off of Delaware Parkway, I believe, right here. That is a big area. And on the other side, I think you were talking, is Morelia Ranch. Here we go. Okay, this is thistle. This is what they call bull thistle, and it's got the big, it's like a bullhorn or a moose horn. When it's really green, it's got a big old fat. Looks almost like a cactus. And then this is a regular Russian thistle. And this is mustard. And that's what it looks like.